Hello and welcome to this series on Jmeter Beginner tutorial. This is the 11th session and today we are going to see how to create HTML reports from Jmeter and how to use command line to create HTML reports. So we have already seen in earlier sessions that we can create really nice graphical reports from the Jmeter UI, but if you are running it from the command line, what are the options we have to create nice looking HTML and dashboard reports? So there was a session I had created earlier on how to run Jmeter from command line non-GUI mode. Okay, so this is the 7th session, and in case you have not seen this, I would request you to go back and first see this video where I have explained step by step how to run a Jmeter test from command line, and then you can come back and watch this video. If you are comfortable with the running Jmeter from command line, then you can continue with this session. Okay, so let's begin and let's see what is step 1. So first of all, we have to create our test plan and save it. So this is my JMeter and this is a new test plan. I'm going to add a thread group, and inside the thread group let me add some sampler and let us add a HTTP request, and let us go to this website lifecharger.org and add it here. Okay, let us also add few more samplers and let it be HTTP requests only. Let me add one more HTTP request and let me add about section. I will name it as about page. I will name this as home page, and let us also add this archives page. So we are going to do a test on these three pages, web pages. So let me also rename this as archive page. Okay, now we have these three samplers added. Let us add an assertion. So I will add a response assertion, and let us say response code should be equal to status code 200. Okay, and to view the results I will add a listener. So I will add a view results in tree. Okay, let us run our test case, and before that I need to save it. So I will say I will save it under desktop Jmeter, and let me give it a name as HTML reporting. Okay, so the test has started and home page is successful, archive page is also successful, we are getting 200, and about page is also successful, right? So our test case is now ready. Let me increase the thread group here, the number of threads and users to 20, save it, and now because I have created and saved my test case, I can actually close the UI because now I have to run this test plan from my command line. So I'm closing this. Okay, now step 2. So this I have to save and close. Even if you do not close, it is okay. If you want to keep it open on your UI, that is optional. Okay, step 2 is open command line and change directory to Jmeter bin. So wherever your bin folder is, so let me first, so this is my command line. I have to go to my Jmeter bin folder, right? So I have installed Jmeter under desktop tools Apache Jmeter 3.0 bin. So I will navigate to this particular directory. So cd users Raghav desktop tools Apache Jmeter 3.0 bin. Okay, so now I have reached the bin directory, and now I have to run my command to run my test case, right? So the command is execute command. The command is jmeter -n for non-GUI, -t is for the location of the jmeter script or the test plan file that you saved, -l is the location of result file. Okay, and then we are adding two more options. One is -e, this is for generating HTML reports, and then -o to tell the location of the output folder. Okay, this is location of the output folder. Okay, now one more thing to notice here is we can create these dashboard reports along with the test case at the end of the test case, or we can also create it from a separate CSV file. Suppose you have created and you have run your test case and you have your CSV file with you, the result file. You can also use the result file to create the HTML or dashboard reports, and we will see how to do that. Let us first see how to run and create these HTML reports. So here I will say sh jmeter. Now see, I am adding sh because I am on a Mac. If you are on Windows, you will not add sh, you will directly start from jmeter. Okay, -n -t, and now I have to give the location of my script. So my script is at users Raghav desktop jmeter html reporting.jmx -l. I have to give location of my CSV file, the result file. So again I will say go to the same location, and I want to save as test1.csv. Okay, and now I have to say -e for creating the dashboard HTML reports, and -o for the location of the folder. So folder, I do not have a folder as of now, so I'm going to create a new folder where my all the HTML reports will be saved. So I can name this HTML reports, and I will give location of this folder here. So the location is users Raghav desktop jmeter HTML reports. Okay, and now I will just run it. So you can see the test has started and it is creating all these logs. And remember, we increased the users to 20 in our test plan before closing it, right? So it is going to run this test case for 20 users. Okay, it has created and finished the test case, and now it should be creating our reports. So just wait for it, and yes, it has started creating the reports. And yes, we can see the test1.csv has come here, and let me open it, and yes, we have got all the results here. And if I go to HTML reports folder, you can see these folders and files, and you can see index.html. This is the file that you have to open, and now you can see the report, right? The HTML report here. Okay, so this is how we are going to get our HTML report, and this is really very beautiful and intuitive reports with all the details of the run. Okay, so let us go to the dashboard and let us understand what does these report statistics mean. In the starting, we have the name of the file from which the report is getting generated, the start time, end time, and filters, if any, will be displayed here. And then you have AppDex, Application Performance Index. Now, what does this mean is, if you click on AppDex, you will actually be navigated to a wiki page, and here it says AppDex is an open standard developed by an alliance of companies. It defines a standard method for reporting and comparing the performance of software applications. Okay, so AppDex is an international body which has created some threshold and guidelines for testing the performance of software applications. So 500 milliseconds is the threshold, and frustration threshold is 1 second, 500 milliseconds, and it shows that all these web pages are coming in this range, right? Now this number 500 threshold and frustration threshold 1 second, 500 millisecond is configurable, and if you go to your uh, Jmeter bin folder, wherever your Jmeter is installed, my Jmeter is installed at tools, Apache Jmeter bin, and if you go to users.properties under the bin folder, let me open this, and you will, let me search, and yes, you will find this jmeter.reporting generator appdex threshold and tolerated threshold, right? So as of now, the value here is 500 milliseconds and 1500 milliseconds, so you can actually change it and that will be reflected into your report. Okay, and in case you want to know any other parameter which is linked to the report, you can actually go to report generator.properties into your bin directory, and you can see all these options and values are related to Jmeter HTML dashboard reports. Okay, so any change in configuration, if you want, you can do it here. You can actually find it here, go to user properties, and add it here. Okay, so let me just close this as of now. This is some extra information if you want to do some uh, deeper level analysis, but as of now we are more interested into looking at our report. Okay, so this is what AppDex is. Then we have a request summary where it gives a overall summary of what is the pass percentage and what is the failure percentage. So in our case, 90% of the request passed and 10% failed. Then you go to the statistics where it gives some details of every sampler. Okay, what is the throughput, min, max, response time. Then if there are any errors, will be displayed here. Okay, let us go to the charts. Let us go to overtime chart. So you can see here it is showing response. Okay, here it's the average response in milliseconds and the time elapsed, right? So you can see the archive page which is shown in red, the response time is going up considerably, and the about page which is showing in yellow, the response time is going down gradually, right? And the beauty of these reports are you can actually click here and you can make it appear or disappear on the report. Okay, so I can make it appear or disappear on the report by just clicking here. Again, the throughput you can see here, bytes per seconds. Then latency, again you can see the latency is the time to first byte, so again you can see the trend here, right? So this is very useful. You can also see the throughput charts. Okay, all these graphs are very intuitive, gives all the details about your test. Okay, and then you have response times. Now response time charts are very important, and these are very useful. Okay, you can actually uh, change this, and response time versus thread chart is there, and then you can see response time distribution. Now this particular chart will be very important, and this is something your clients or maybe your higher management will be very interested to look at. So you can see all these pages, about page is shown in yellow, the archive page in red, and the home page in blue. So if I want to go to my home page only, I will just disable about page and archive page, and you can see the trend of number of responses during that all these times, right? During the time duration, what were the number of responses? Okay, then you can see about archive page and then about page. Okay, so you can see the trend here. It is going up, then going down, then at some position it did not had any response coming. Okay, and so on, right? So this will be very important, and this is how you can do a very detailed analysis on your test. Okay, now there is one more thing. Okay, so step 4 is analyze HTML or dashboard reports. Okay, but even before this, there is one more thing. I told you that you can actually create these HTML reports even without running the test. So there are two options: to create report at the end of the test, which is we just saw right now, and then we have another option: create report from a standalone CSV file. Okay, so suppose you have already created your test and you have your CSV file, and you just want to create the report from the CSV file. In that case, you will use the command jmeter -g location of CSV file and -o location of output folder. Okay, so let us also use this and see how does this work. Let me go to desktop jmeter. Let me create a new folder here. I'll again name it HTML reports. Okay, and this is my already existing CSV file, which is test1. I want to use this CSV file and generate HTML dashboard reports using this file, the results in this file, right? So uh, let me say sh jmeter -g, and location of my CSV file is users Raghav desktop jmeter test1.csv, and then -o location of the folder users Raghav desktop jmeter HTML reports, and I will just trigger it, and now it is reading my file and it will create the report. So if I go to my folder, and yes, I can see the report is created, and if I click it, yes, this is the same report that we saw, right? The same report has come again, and this time I have not run the test. I have directly generated from a CSV file, right? Okay, so this is how you can create HTML reports from command line. And I created this session because I got a comment on my Jmeter tutorial where I have explained how to run Jmeter from command line, and I got a comment from Raghuram that can you please let me know how to generate HTML report in non-GUI mode. Okay, so this is how you can create HTML reports in non-GUI mode. And if you go to Apache Jmeter site, let me go to Jmeter. I'm going to the home page of Apache Jmeter. If you go to this user manual, and this is point number 16, dashboard report. So here it is explained very beautifully how to create the dashboard report, what is the meaning of each report. Okay, so you can go here and then you can see all these requirements, so you can make sure that all the configurations are set properly, and then I'll show you the commands as well. So these are the two commands we used, right? -g and -o for creating from an existing sample CSV log file, and then this one is for running the test and creating a HTML report at the end of the test, right? So this is how we create HTML reports from command line. Hope you like it. Thank you.